part of downtown LA. So there's just too much around. They're going to have to catch up with him and hope that he slows down or gives up peacefully.
Yeah, look at him accelerate in those narrow lanes there. I just can't see a pit maneuver working on this guy. He's just moving too quickly. But you're right. Spike strips could be the weapon for him if they can get something. The pattern happening over and over, they can prepare for him. They got to find a way to slow this guy down.
Yeah, being told it's a recent Nissan Sentra that apparently was stolen, a very, very common car for car thieves. And you can see he's continuing this pursuit down Ardmore Avenue now. Those windows are pretty heavily tinted. We have not had a glimpse inside of this vehicle yet. The driver's side window is rolled up. At one point, he was engaged in this pursuit with all of the lights blacked out, and since then the lights have come back on, crossing Wilshire Boulevard through Koreatown now as we come up on 7th Street. And this is another opportunity aside from downtown LA. If you're familiar with this part of town near Mid-City, a lot of other tall buildings with parking garages and a lot of places where there could be a spot to hide out and dump the vehicle. But in any event, there's just too many cops, I think, around him. Behind him, I think, in front of him as well, but these are very random. Oh, look at that! Look at that! Two pedestrians crossing, or that might have been somebody walking their dog. Somebody walking their dog almost got it. They almost got it. He made that wild left turn, a really close call there, and now speeding up Kingsley Drive. This is a dangerous, dangerous pursuit. If you live in this area, definitely stay inside, because this guy, he just has no regard for anybody's safety. He's not even slowing down or barely even braking as he comes up to these intersections. He's practically flooring it through the streets of Mid-City.
Yeah, it's so dangerous. And there are more people in this area than where we joined him over in Silver Lake. It seems to be more pedestrians in this area, narrower streets, more traffic on the roads. So it's definitely a more dangerous area for him to be driving through under these conditions.
It is close quarter streets here, very residential neighborhood. Not uncommon for folks to be walking their dog at this hour of the night. Not uncommon at all. He is making his way closer to the 10 freeway, still on Kingsley Drive. What I don't see, and what I haven't seen now for a couple of minutes, is those initial pursuing officers that were behind him. It seems as though they have fallen back, and for the time being, I'm being told now, they have actually called off this pursuit because it's too dangerous. Now, we'll see if the airship keeps up with him, but I don't even see that night sun anymore. So they may have pulled off as well. They may have decided that if the only charge, I know it's a major crime, but if Grand Theft Auto is the only charge, the driving in this pursuit, just too dangerous to keep it going. And that may have been a part of their calculus to just give this pursuit up. Now it's a matter of seeing whether he continues that dangerous driving, or perhaps if his adrenaline can come down and he thinks better of his behavior tonight, maybe he'll just decide to end this and slow down at the very least.
And look what he just did. I mean, without the police behind him and without the night sun on him, he actually stopped at a stop sign and waited. He's definitely calmed down, and maybe he really does believe that he's no longer being pursued. Whatever has happened, if that's what he believes, it has settled him down, and it seems to be a safer situation now. Although
that helicopter has actually peeled out of here, David. So LAPD practically giving this one up. It just got too dangerous, and it might just be this guy's lucky night.
Right. It's to cost a life for a car is just not reasonable. So there you go. But it's a message, though. We hate to get out there, but it's worth talking about, and that is, what is the value of these pursuits, especially when they get that dangerous? You know, we had an earlier pursuit today, Chris, and that was that attempted murder suspect. In a situation like that, or a murder suspect, they might have a tendency of sticking with it longer. Grand Theft Auto, maybe not.
Changes the game completely. And we always, what we don't often have is the intelligence that they are working with on the ground. And if it is a simple charge, such as Grand Theft Auto, that's one thing. If you're talking about a murder suspect or a violent crime, that's a whole different story. But this is considered a property crime, and at the end of the day, he probably would have been out on the street by the end of by the time the sun comes up. He was going to be out anyway. So it's just not worth it when you think of the potential collateral damage.
To show you how close he came, we've got some video for you guys to see as he's going through. And there's that the guy with his dog. I mean, seriously, if they were crossing the street maybe a couple of seconds sooner, or even closer to that curb that he took, it could have been a deadly situation for them. So, and that wasn't the only one. We saw him get close to at least one other pedestrian as well. So these are the situations that make the law enforcement to say, this could be too dangerous. We might need to pull out of this. It's not going to be worth it if somebody gets hit by this guy, all because of a stolen vehicle. And you never know. Maybe there's a way to track this guy down further. Who knows? Who knows? It's a tough one.
Right, that's another thing. They may actually potentially know who the driver is, even though it's not his vehicle. They may know who the driver is, and yeah, they might potentially catch up with him at a later point. Now he's getting onto the freeway, so he is leaving the downtown area, heading westbound on the 10 freeway, and of course, if anybody else picks it up, we'll be here.
I'm curious. So you see no law enforcement vehicles on the ground, and you say the helicopter is gone as well. So are you pretty much one of the last guys standing when it comes to following this guy?
I was going to say, if anything, maybe they would at least notify CHP, but I don't even think that's the case in this situation. It's basically just us following him at this point. I really want to see him continue what he's doing now, which is essentially lawful driving. He's at least obeying the rules of the road semi. You know, obviously he put a lot of lives in danger for the better part of about 20 minutes. But now, finally, their tactic of canceling this pursuit is paying off, and there might not be a need to continue it at this point if he's not posing a major danger.
Right. Well, he's probably completely unaware that you're following him as well, and he's on Eyewitness News. In fact, we're in the last half minute or so of Eyewitness News as we bring this newscast to a close. But it is an interesting story that perhaps we'll continue to talk about, and that is, when do you pull off of a police pursuit? In this case, there you see that vehicle right there in the middle of that pileup of cars waiting at the light is a stolen vehicle. Police would love to arrest that man or person who is inside there, but they're not going to because it just became too dangerous. So with that said, that brings Eyewitness News to a close on this Monday night. Jimmy Kimmel Live is coming up next. We thank you all for joining us, and we hope you join us tomorrow for Eyewitness News throughout the day. Have a good night. And Chris, thank you for your reporting.